Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Dan. And today I'm going to be officially starting my Disney movie marathon. Oh yes, sirree. One of the few times in my life I'm allowed to give myself some happiness, I guess you can say. Yeah. So anyway, I'm thinking I'd be starting this off by reviewing a live action movie. It's a more recent film titled Mary Poppins Returns. Yes, it's more of a direct sequel to the original, and yeah, it's on my to-do list. Yeah, as if I'm not comes off, I'm never going to be done with this list, folks. It just comes off each time I remove a movie from this list. I'm adding a new one because I'll keep watching movies. So yeah, I did watch this film recently, so I figured I would review it. And to be more specific, I guess you can say, it's going to be the review for the Blu-ray version. Yes, the Blu-ray version, folks. Because that's the one I saw. I didn't see this in the movie theaters, even though I did see the trailers for it. But anyway, folks, that aside, you know what I have to do. Of course, of course, of course. As usual, I have to talk about the plot of this film. So, let's get into it, shall we? So, let's get into it. So, like I was saying, folks, this is a direct sequel to the original film. It just takes place quite some time afterwards because the magical nanny here has returned, like the title of this film suggests. So it's not a reboot or anything, it's more of a direct sequel. And so yeah, it did get a theatrical release, of course. One of the few times Disney had given a theatrical release to one of their sequels. Taking place during the 1930s in London, Mitchell Banks is actually living in his childhood home with his three kids, whom will take a good chunk of the film, of course. But they, of course, are there after the death of his wife a year prior. So Mitchell has taken a loan from his employee, or and yeah, and it's in 3 months and behind on his payments, unfortunately. But of course, the bank's corrupted a new chairman since, of course, some things to him. But that's the thing, folks. There's some stress over it, and we can see that the character Mary Poppins has came in right in the nick of time, obviously. And as you can guess, there's of course going to be some sort of grand adventure, obviously. So yes, to be more exact, it takes place in a Depression era London. So Mary Poppins, of course, is going to be, her own personality, of course, following a personal loss through her unique magical abilities, of course. And with the aid of her friend Jack, she wants to help the family rediscover the joy and wonder that's been, missing from their lives, as you might expect. That's basically the summary of the story, folks. And all I can really say is that while it doesn't exactly compare to the original film, which I thought was better, but this film on its own, I guess, is pretty solid, I suppose. Even though maybe it tippy toes a little too close to the original to some degree. So in some ways, it kind of falls in the shadows of the original film because it kind of struggles to find its own identity, I guess you can say. But in the grand scheme of things, this isn't exactly the worst sequel I've seen from Disney. Brother 2, Dreams Come True, comes to mind when it comes to really, really awful sequels. Maybe one of these days I can actually do a riff on that movie because I think it deserves it because it's so bad. Oh boy, folks. Come on, Disney. You can do better than this. Ugh, that's such a horrendous sequel. I can tell you that right now. Anyway, back to this one, folks. At least it wasn't that. There's an actual attempt to have a consistent plot, so that's a good thing there. Because it shows there's some actual efforts being done here. The actress who plays Mary Poppins does a pretty good job here, folks. I liked her performance. It wasn't exactly like the original, which I think is a good thing because she did do her own take on it, but it still has the same kind of gracefulness, kind of, thing going on there. So it wasn't too different from the original. while not exactly flat out copying, I guess you could say. So that's definitely a plus here, folks. So there's definitely many winks, nods to the original stuff, which is fine in some degree, I guess. So yeah, overall, I'll put a solid movie. Even though I kind of felt like maybe in some parts of the film it kind of dragged on too long. Yeah, this film is a little over 2 hours, and yeah, I can feel it. Like it was a bit too long for its own good. So yeah, that's probably the biggest complaint I have for this movie is that it felt too long. It could have been a bit shorter than what was delivered, I guess you can say, because it felt lengthy. It was really, really lengthy. It felt it's padded in some ways. But again, this is a pretty solid film. I've seen worse, and I like the music. Some of the music was like quite good, I guess you can say, because the harmony was nice and the overall singing was decent. I mean, okay, some were better than others. I'll give it that. Some were better than others, but yeah, it's not exactly bad really because I can tell there was some effort being done into here, folks. But as I was saying earlier, this is the Blu-ray version I'm talking about here. The Blu-ray experience. This contains the extras of over an hour of bonuses, which includes the sing-along edition, deleted songs, bloopers, the practically perfect making of maybe Poppins Returns, including some deleted scenes and a bit more than that. So it has some stuff, I guess you can say, but not a whole lot. I suppose there's some solid stuff in here, folks, but it's somewhat a bit disappointing considering that, again, this is a Blu-ray. There's some, of course, good audio, the high quality picture, so you can hear everything pitch perfect here, folks, or at least nearly pitch perfect audio, I guess you can say. So overall, a pretty solid packaging. So yeah, folks. Anyway, this film it gets an overall rating of a 7.0 out of 10. It gets a 7.0 out of 10 from me. As always, thanks for watching and take care. Till next time. Oh yeah.